was born in a small American town, a place where life was neither too fast nor too slow. He grew up in a middle-class family. His father, George, was a school teacher and his mother, Margaret, worked as a librarian. William's childhood was simple. He wasn't the smartest kid in class, nor the best in sports. He was just an ordinary boy, the kind who blended in with everyone but was never the center of attention. People in town always saw William as a quiet, shy boy. While other kids played and shouted on the school field, William would sit quietly in a corner, reading books. He loved stories, especially the ones where ordinary people won hearts with their kindness and sincerity. Maybe that's what planted a seed in his heart, a dream to someday become someone respected and loved by everyone. Childhood, however, wasn't always easy for William. Kids often made fun of him for being quiet, for speaking less and listening more. But William never got angry. He would just smile softly and stay silent. That silence slowly became part of who he was. Over time, he learned, even without fully realizing it, that sometimes there's more strength in listening than in speaking. At home, there was love but also financial struggles. His father's salary was limited and his mother had no extra time for side work. Many nights, William would sit on the roof looking at the stars, dreaming that one day he would do something special. Something that would not only change his own life but make life easier for others too. William's first real friend at school was a boy named Danny. Danny was different from others. He didn't talk much either, but he understood William's quiet nature. Danny was the first person in William's life to make him realize that no matter how ordinary you are, honesty and kindness always draw people toward you. Slowly, William began to understand that the greatest power in life is relationships. Big or small, as long as they are built with sincerity, they can change everything. This belief would later become the foundation of his life. This was the beginning of William's story. Just an ordinary boy with ordinary dreams, but with an extraordinary desire hidden deep in his heart. He didn't know it yet, but his humility and kindness would one day make him someone everyone admired. The roots of that journey were already beginning to grow. Loneliness had always followed William like a quiet shadow. At school he was there among everyone else, but inside he always felt an emptiness. People often mistook his smile for happiness, but the truth was, deep down, William always carried a quiet kind of loneliness, the kind that kept him awake many nights. His room was small, with a wooden bed, an old desk, and a shelf filled with books. Most of his time was spent with those books. Novels, self-help books, and success stories. He read them all, wondering what truly made someone special enough to be loved and remembered by everyone. Sometimes he would stand in front of the mirror, talking to himself, trying to understand who he really was. He barely had friends. Danny, his only close friend, would often get busy with his own life. When other boys went out to play in the park or stayed up late playing video games, William would quietly walk home. The neighbors called him Quiet William, but he never minded. Somewhere deep inside, he felt that his silence would one day help him understand what life was really about. But living in loneliness wasn't always easy. There were nights when he lay awake in bed, asking himself, "Do I really matter to anyone? Does my presence make any difference in someone's life?" Those thoughts hurt him deeply. Sometimes tears would fall without his control, but he never told anyone. Maybe in his heart he wished someone could hear his silent cries, but no one ever did. During those lonely days, William learned one important thing: how to observe. He watched people quietly, paying attention to their words, their actions, and their struggles. Over time, he realized that everyone carries some hidden pain. Most people are just better at hiding it. That realization softened his heart and slowly made kindness a part of his nature. One day, when a new boy at school was being bullied, William finally broke his silence. He stepped forward and stood up for the boy. In that moment, William realized that maybe standing up for others was the first step to breaking his own loneliness. Those lonely years were painful, but they were also shaping him. Deep inside, he was growing stronger, becoming someone who would not only overcome his own loneliness, but also find a way to touch other people's hearts. One day, William decided it was time to stop just watching people quietly and start truly understanding them. It was his second year of high school, and he was tired of carrying the weight of his loneliness. He told himself, if I want people to know me, I have to know them first. William started with small steps. During lunch at school, instead of sitting alone in the corner, he began sitting closer to other students. At first, he didn't say much, just listened and observed. He noticed what made someone smile, what made them go quiet, and the hidden pain in their eyes that no one else seemed to notice. One day he saw a girl in his class, Emily, sitting alone and crying. Everyone else ignored her, but something in William's heart pushed him forward. He walked up to her gently and asked, "Are you okay?" Emily looked up at him, surprised that someone had noticed her pain. After a few seconds of silence, she said softly, "Yeah, it's just some family stuff." William didn't ask too many questions. He simply said, "If you ever want to talk, I'm here to listen." That moment was a new experience for William. He realized that you don't need big words or grand gestures to touch someone's heart. Sometimes, all it takes is genuine attention. Another step came when his classmate Jack needed help with a project. William lent him his books and guided him through the assignment. When they were done, Jack smiled and said, "You know, William, you're different from everyone else. You actually listen and you try to understand." Those words meant more to William than Jack could imagine. He realized that understanding others isn't just about hearing them. It's about feeling their emotions, seeing the stories they carry inside. Slowly, William learned that truly understanding someone takes time. People don't always open up right away, but if you're patient and listen without judgment, they eventually share their hearts. During this time, he also realized that no matter how strong someone looks, everyone needs a friend who listens with their heart. And William decided he would be that person, someone who could help lighten the weight others carried inside. This was the first step in William's journey to truly connecting with people, his first effort to look into their world and understand their hearts. And this effort would go on to shape the person he was becoming. William's life took a new turn when he discovered that even a small smile could win over big hearts. It happened on an ordinary Monday morning. The school hallways were loud, filled with groups of kids laughing and talking while William, as usual, walked quietly toward his class. Suddenly he noticed a boy, David, sitting alone on a bench. His face showed sadness and exhaustion. William stopped for a moment, and his heart whispered, "Sometimes even the smallest gesture can change someone's entire day." Gathering his courage, William smiled and said, "Hey David, how are you today?" David looked up, surprised, as if he couldn't believe someone was actually talking to him. He slowly replied, "Good, I guess." William just nodded and kept his warm smile. And in that brief moment, something shifted. From that day on, William started making an effort to add a smile to his everyday routine. Whether it was the librarian, the cafeteria worker, or the shy boy who always sat alone, William would smile and say hello to everyone. At first, people were surprised. But soon they started looking for William, as if his presence made their days a little lighter. One day, the quietest girl in class, Lisa, told him, "You know, William, your smile makes it feel like everything in the world is going to be okay." Those words touched William deeply. He realized that a smile isn't just an expression. It's a universal language that connects hearts. A language that doesn't see color, race, or status, but only sees humanity. William remembered something a teacher once said. "A smile is charity. It costs nothing, but it gives everything." That thought became a principle in his life. He understood that a simple, genuine smile can brighten a stranger's day, can ease someone's loneliness, and most importantly, can make people feel that they matter. Slowly, William became known around the school. not because of his grades or sports achievements, but because he smiled with his heart. That was the moment William learned that when you share smiles from the heart, the world gives you back love and respect. That small smile became the first magic that opened doors to friendships and slowly started healing the quiet loneliness inside him. After William learned to smile, he noticed that people started coming closer to him. But soon he discovered another secret, the power of listening. It happened one afternoon when he was sitting in the school garden. The quiet girl from the library, Lisa, walked over and sat down near him. William, as always, smiled and said, "Hey Lisa, you look a little sad. Is everything okay?" At first Lisa hesitated, but then, as if she needed to let the weight off her chest, she spoke. "William, nobody ever really listens to me. Everyone has so much to say, but no one wants to listen." William didn't interrupt her. He just stayed quiet, giving her his full attention. Sometimes he nodded softly, sometimes his eyes showed quiet sympathy, and sometimes he simply stayed present. That day, Lisa opened up completely about her worries, her family problems, and the deep loneliness that had been eating her from the inside. When she finished, William gently said, "Lisa, you're strong, and remember, you're not alone. I'm your friend, and I'll always listen." Tears filled Lisa's eyes, but there was a smile on her face. In that moment, William realized that sometimes people don't need advice, they just need someone to truly listen. From that day on, William started practicing this habit with everyone. In the classroom, in the cafeteria, even on the sports field, whenever someone needed to share something, he simply listened. He didn't interrupt, he didn't judge, he just listened. Slowly, his quiet presence became his strength. People started trusting him, knowing that William would never share their secrets. Even teachers began to confide in him from time to time. One day, his close friend David said, "William, do you know you have a kind of magic? When you listen, it feels like someone actually cares about us." That's when William understood that listening is more powerful than speaking. When you truly listen with your heart, you make others feel that their words and they themselves truly matter. From then on, William made it a rule for himself. Always give your full attention when someone talks, never interrupt, and only respond when your words can really help. This simple habit of listening made William even more special in everyone's eyes. People no longer saw him as just a kind person. They began to see him as a true friend. After William developed the habit of truly listening to others, he discovered another secret, the power of helping someone in their hard times. His real test came one cold morning. On his way to school, he saw his classmate Mark standing alone at the bus stop, worry in his eyes and a pile of old books clutched in his hands. William walked up to him and said, "Hey Mark, everything okay? You look worried." Mark hesitated for a moment, then softly said, "My dad lost his job. I might have to quit school. We can't afford books or the fees anymore." Hearing this, William's heart sank. He didn't say much. He just placed a hand on Mark's shoulder and said, "You're not alone. I'm here for you." That evening, William spoke with friends in the neighborhood, collected small donations, and even talked to the school principal to arrange a scholarship for Mark. The next day, when he shared the good news, tears filled Mark's eyes as a smile spread across his face. "William, you've changed my life. I'll never forget this," Mark said, his voice trembling. That day, William realized for the first time that even a small helping hand during someone's toughest moments can give them mountain-like strength. From then on, William never hesitated to help anyone. Whether it was holding a door open, helping someone up when they fell, or arranging groceries for the elderly in his neighborhood, William made sure no one ever felt alone. Another chance to help came at school when Sophia, one of his classmates, stopped attending class for days because her mother had fallen seriously ill. Without wasting a moment, William gathered the class together, raised some funds, and delivered food and medicine to Sophia's home. Her mother, weak but smiling, said, "Son, kids like you are the true meaning of humanity." Those words stayed in William's heart forever. He learned that real respect and love don't come from achievements or recognition. They come from being there for people when they need you the most. And that's why everyone at school now knew William, not just for his good grades, but for the heart that beat for everyone around him. After finishing college, William landed a job at a local company. It was a brand new chapter in his life, new people, new rules, and above all, the race for success. On his first day at the office, William instantly noticed that the environment was nothing like school or college. Everyone was busy with their own work, conversations were brief and formal, and every face seemed to hide its own story. William smiled and greeted everyone, but most people only nodded in return. His real test began when his first project landed on his desk. The manager, Mr. James, handed him an important report to prepare with one clear instruction. "This report needs to be completed in 3 days. There's no room for error." William threw himself into the task. He worked day and night, gathered data, created drafts, and even asked others for advice. But on the third day, when he confidently placed the report on Mr. James's desk, a major mistake was discovered. A single mistyped number that threw off the entire calculation. The office went silent. His colleagues exchanged glances as if to say, "That's what happens with rookies." William's heart pounded, but he gathered his courage and said, "Mr. James, this is my mistake. I'll fix it right away." That day, William learned that admitting your mistake is an act of true courage. He stayed up all night reworking the report, and by morning, the corrected version was on James's desk. When Mr. James reviewed the accurate report, he gave a faint smile and said, "William, you have the potential to be a leader. The person who owns up to mistakes is the one who learns the most." That moment gave William confidence and motivation. He made a promise to himself. He wouldn't just be another employee doing good work. He would be someone everyone could rely on. A few weeks later, when another major project came up, William not only completed his own work flawlessly, but also helped his team members finish theirs. As a result, he was chosen as the team leader, one of the proudest moments of his life. William realized that in the workplace, respect and trust aren't earned by hard work alone. They come from honesty, collaboration, and humility. When William passed his first test at work and earned the trust of his team, it felt like a big achievement to him. But he knew that the road to bigger success always passes through small victories. One day, the company launched a new project, and William was assigned a small task to gather data and create slides for a client presentation. It wasn't one of the major tasks in the company, but William handled it with full dedication and honesty. On the day of the presentation, when the team presented their project to the client, everyone was amazed at how clean, organized, and impressive William's slides were. After the meeting, the senior manager praised him in front of everyone. "William, you did an excellent job. Your hard work played a big role in making this meeting a success." That appreciation felt like a big reward for William. He knew it was just a small step, but he celebrated it, quietly giving himself a pat on the back, enjoying a cup of coffee at his favorite cafe in the evening, and thanking God that his efforts were starting to pay off. A few days later, when another small project was completed, William celebrated with his team. He told everyone, "We should celebrate every success, no matter how small. These little moments are what take us closer to our big dreams." Gradually, William's positive attitude started changing the environment around him. Now the team congratulated each other for even small targets, arranged little parties, and supported one another. This habit made William loved by everyone because he understood that true success lies not just in waiting for big goals, but in valuing the small happy moments along the way. William learned this important lesson. A person who is grateful for small wins never loses the courage to achieve bigger dreams. The most remarkable thing about William's life was his honesty. Since childhood, he had always heard that truth and integrity never fail, but proving this in real life was never easy. At work, William always arrived on time, put his full effort into every task, and stayed away from lies or excuses. In the beginning, people thought he was too simple. Some even said, "In this world, honesty doesn't get you far. You need to play the game a little." But William knew that lying or taking someone else's right for temporary gain only hollowed a person from within. One day, an important project came into the company and every team member had to submit their work report. William honestly wrote in his report that while he had completed his assigned sections, there were still some minor flaws that needed fixing and asked for extra time to improve them. The manager called him into the office and said, "Do you realize your honesty might have just saved this project? Most people try to hide their mistakes, and in the end, the whole team suffers. But by speaking the truth, you gave us the chance to make the right decisions." A few weeks later, when the project turned out to be a success, the company owner praised William in front of everyone. This success is not just the result of hard work, but also the honesty and integrity that made this possible. That moment became a turning point in William's life. His colleagues began to trust him more, and even the management started seeking his opinion on major decisions. William also noticed that his honesty didn't just earn him respect at work, but gave him a unique place in people's hearts. Now everyone wanted to be around him because they knew William never lied and his word was as good as a promise. Gradually, his honesty began to influence his personal life as well. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers trusted him. Whenever someone needed help, William was the first person they thought of. He always kept one belief in his heart: honesty never grows old. It's an asset that only becomes more valuable with time. With time, this quality filled William's life with success, respect, and love. He realized that while everything else in life can be temporary, honesty is the light that always stays and guides a person through even the darkest paths. Another beautiful quality of William's life was his habit of remembering the little things about people. At first glance, it seemed like something small, but over time, this simple habit made people love him deeply. In the beginning, William didn't realize how valuable it could be to remember someone's likes and dislikes. One day at the office, his colleague Jack was having a rough day. William remembered that Jack loved chocolate coffee. During lunch break, he quietly went out, bought Jack's favorite coffee, placed it on his desk, and simply said, "I thought this might make you feel a little better." Jack looked at the coffee with surprise and a smile and said, "You remembered? This is my favorite, and thank you, William." It was just a small moment, but that moment gave William a special place in Jack's heart. From then on, William made it a rule to carefully listen and remember what people said. Whether a colleague mentioned their mother's health, a friend shared their favorite song, or a neighbor casually talked about their birthday, William would keep those details in mind. At the right time, he would express that thoughtfulness, like sending a birthday message or checking in when someone was going through a hard time. Gradually, people began to see William as someone who didn't just listen but genuinely cared. This habit gave his personality a warmth and charm that drew others to him. His thoughtfulness even reflected at work. When the boss formed a team for an important project, William was the first person chosen, not just because of his skills, but because everyone knew he understood people and valued their emotions. For William, remembering the little things wasn't just about building relationships. It was about making people feel that their words and feelings truly mattered, no matter how small they seemed. This habit slowly made William the kind of person everyone cherished. People came to him not only to talk, but also to share their joys and sorrows, knowing that William didn't just hear them, he gave their words a place in his heart. The most striking quality in William's personality was his humility. No matter how high he climbed or what milestones he achieved, pride never found a place in his heart. When William led his company to success in a major project and delivered outstanding results as the team leader, everyone praised him. In a meeting, his boss openly said, "This success is only possible because of William's hard work." But William smiled and replied, "No, this is our collective effort. Without the team's support, I couldn't have achieved anything." Those words earned him even more respect from his colleagues. People realized William was someone who shared credit, not someone who tried to keep it all for himself. Humility was part of his nature. Even outside the office, he treated everyone with respect and kindness. If he visited a cafe, he'd greet the waiter with a warm smile. Often the waiter would say, "People like you are rare, sir." To William, humility meant staying grounded no matter how successful one became. He believed respect grows by giving, not demanding. One day, a new intern joined the company, young, nervous, and unsure of his place. While others barely noticed him, William quietly began mentoring him, answering his questions and encouraging his small efforts. Within weeks, the intern was working confidently and often said, "If it weren't for Mr. William, I wouldn't have been able to settle in here." This humility drew people closer to William. They loved being around him, learning from him, and trusting him. From his humility, William learned 3 powerful lessons. To grow big, you must first learn to stay small. Success multiplies when shared. And most importantly, respect is earned through simplicity and kindness, never through arrogance. This very humility became the foundation of William's journey. The quality that transformed him from just another man into someone cherished by everyone. Life was never always easy for William. On his journey to success, there were moments when it felt like everything was falling apart. But during those moments, he showed everyone that true courage is staying strong when times are hard. One day, the company's biggest client suddenly ended their contract. The entire team was in shock, managers were worried, and the office felt heavy with silence. Everyone thought this was a devastating blow to the company, but William refused to break. Calmly, he stood before the team and said, "We've faced challenges before and we'll face this one too. This time isn't here to break us, it's here to make us stronger." His words weren't just words, they were a spark of hope that spread through the team. William worked day and night to find new clients, rebuild old relationships, and remind everyone that this storm was only temporary. Within weeks of tireless effort, the company not only recovered its losses but also secured new projects. Everyone was amazed at how someone so humble, who never tried to boss others around, could unite the entire team with such quiet strength. This strength showed in his personal life too. When his father fell ill, when money was tight, and when loneliness surrounded him, William never gave up. He often told himself, "Life isn't always easy, but strength always shows you the way." That belief carried him through every storm. He never let others see his pain, but in private he prayed, gathered his courage, and faced each new day with determination. William's strength in adversity turned him into an example for others. People began to learn from him that, in tough times, panic solves nothing. Calm and thoughtful decisions do. Strong people aren't those who never fall. They're the ones who stand back up after falling, and above all, every storm eventually passes. It was this resilience that made William stand out, transforming him from just another man into someone truly admired by all. William learned one thing very early in his life. Good relationships don't just happen. They are built with time, effort, and sincerity. This belief kept his heart open to others and naturally drew people closer to him. William always spoke from the heart. He never acted fake to impress anyone, nor did he give compliments just for show. When he told someone, "You did a great job," people knew it was a genuine compliment, straight from the heart. This sincerity gave him a special place in people's lives. They felt that William was someone worth trusting because he was free from pretense. William paid attention to the little details. If a coworker mentioned their child was sick, William would ask about the child's health the next day. This small gesture, that simple care, showed people that William wasn't just a casual friend. He was someone truly connected to them. Friendship is built on the gift of time, and William understood this deeply. No matter how busy he was, he always made time for people. Sometimes he'd invite someone for coffee, sometimes chat during lunch, and sometimes simply stand by someone in tough moments. People often thought William had some magic power that made every bond stronger. In reality, his secret was simple. He gave his time and attention. William learned that the greatest strength you can show is respect and the ability to truly listen. From junior staff to senior managers, he treated everyone with the same level of respect. People felt comfortable sharing their stories with him because they knew he would never judge, only listen with an open heart. All these small actions made William the kind of person everyone wanted to be around. Someone genuinely loved and respected. The true key to making friends was simple. Be sincere. Give your time, listen and understand, show respect. William proved through his life that the magic of relationships isn't found in big gestures. It's hidden in small, genuine acts of kindness. William's life was not always filled with harmony. Like every relationship, misunderstandings and disagreements would arise from time to time. But the difference was that William had learned to resolve those conflicts with love, patience, and wisdom. Whenever a disagreement or argument surfaced, William's first step was silence. He knew that one sentence spoken in anger could destroy years of trust, so he always gave the other person a chance to speak and truly listened, even if the words were harsh. William used to say, "If you have the power to truly listen, half the battle ends without a fight." William never held grudges or hatred in his heart. Even if someone was upset with him, he never thought of that person as bad. He believed that disagreements were only about opinions, not about hearts. That's why, whenever he spoke, his voice carried softness and sincerity that naturally drew people closer to him. William believed that relationships survive not because of ego, but because of apologies. If he ever realized he was wrong or had spoken harshly, he never wasted a moment to say, "I'm sorry." And people were often surprised at how a respected and successful man could show such humility, but William would smile and say, "Apologizing doesn't make you small, it proves you are a bigger person." William understood that harsh words only make problems worse. That's why he always chose soft, kind words. When he spoke to someone who was upset, the sincerity in his eyes and the warmth in his tone would melt away the anger, making space for understanding. William never turned disagreements into a battle of winning and losing. He always focused on finding a solution rather than proving himself right. He often said the goal of a discussion should not be to win but to make things right. This mindset set him apart and turned every conflict into an opportunity for stronger bonds. William taught everyone that resolving conflicts is not difficult if you truly listen, forgive. Speak with love, focus on solutions, not ego. This habit didn't just make William a great friend, it made him someone who would always be remembered with love and respect in every heart. There came a moment in William's life when circumstances no longer allowed him to remain just an ordinary man. It was a time when the people of the village were drowning in problems and desperately needed someone to lead them. William, who had always been kind and helpful to everyone, slowly started stepping into the path of leadership. But this journey was anything but easy. Leadership is never handed to anyone. It's earned through hard work and character. William was the first to understand that true leadership means service, not power. When the prices of crops dropped and the villagers grew worried, William gathered everyone and said, "If each of us takes a small step forward, no one will be left behind." That was the first time the people began to see him as a true leader. William embraced the second rule of leadership, truly listening to people. He understood that a good leader speaks less and listens more. Every evening, he would sit in the village square, listening to everyone's worries, understanding their struggles, and offering thoughtful guidance. This habit won their hearts because they felt William wasn't just a man of words, he was one of them. Leadership doesn't come from giving orders, it comes from action. William started by working hard in his own fields, adopting modern farming techniques and then teaching others how to do the same. When people saw his success, they naturally followed his lead. William often said, "A good leader walks the path first before asking others to follow." The toughest test of leadership is justice. William never allowed himself to be unfair, not even with his closest friends. He believed, leadership means treating everyone equally, whether they are strong or weak. This unwavering fairness made him a pillar of trust and strength in his community. The road to leadership is never smooth. Some people opposed William, accusing him of seeking fame. But William never reacted in anger. He knew that a true leader's greatest weapons are patience and silence. So, he continued working hard, proving himself through actions, and slowly earned his place in the hearts of everyone. William taught everyone that the first and most important step in leadership is service, sacrifice, and building trust. He proved that even an ordinary man with a pure heart and a desire to serve can rise to become a great and just leader. William's biggest dream in life wasn't just to grow for himself, but to build a community that became a symbol of hope, unity, and prosperity for everyone. This dream started when he saw how people in his town often fell apart over small problems, didn't trust each other, and failed to recognize their true potential. William realized that a community isn't just a group of houses. It's a network of hearts and dreams that get stronger when they connect. He often said, "If we stand together, no power can break us." This belief guided him every step of the way, that real strength lies in unity. William started by bringing people together. He organized weekly meetings where everyone could share their ideas, farmers, workers, even young boys. He made sure everyone felt that their voice mattered and that each person had an important role to play. William knew that trust is the foundation of a strong community. He earned that trust through actions, not just words. When he stood up for someone, people knew that William never made empty promises. He turned his words into reality. William understood that dreams need action. He set up a small learning center for the kids where they could learn new skills. He taught young men modern farming techniques and encouraged others to start small businesses. Turning a dream into reality was never easy. Some people started opposing William, saying he wanted to control everyone. But with patience and wisdom, William made them understand that his only goal was to build a better future for everyone. As time passed, William's dream became reality. People started supporting one another, sharing happiness and sadness together. The streets of the town were filled with a new sense of hope and unity. In the end, William left everyone with a powerful message. A true community is where people stand for each other, where dreams don't belong to just one person, they belong to everyone. Even after William was gone, his dream lived on. Because he didn't just build a community, he built a bond that connected hearts forever. In William's life, success came step by step, but the real beauty was that with every achievement, he made room for humility in his heart. He knew that power and fame could change a man, but humility was the one quality that gave a person true greatness. And William took his first big step in solving the village's problems, and everyone praised him. His friends said, "William, you've become a hero." But William just smiled and said, "A hero is the one who makes others heroes, not me." That was the first sign that success never made him proud. Humility brought William closer to people's hearts. He treated little children the same way he treated elders. He understood that true strength isn't in status, it's in winning people's hearts. When the village started seeing William as a leader, he never saw himself as someone above others. He often said, "A leader isn't the one who commands everyone, but the one who listens to everyone and stands with them." This mindset made William a trusted and beloved leader. William had every chance to surround himself with wealth and power, but he always chose a simple life. He would say, "Luxury is temporary, but humility keeps a person alive forever." Even after achieving success, William never kept it to himself. He guided the youth, taught them, and encouraged them to chase their dreams. His humility allowed his success to spread light in others' lives too. William's life proved one thing: when success and humility walk together, a person becomes not just successful but truly respected. This blend is what made William a man who stayed alive in people's hearts long after time moved on. The road to success is never easy, and William knew this truth well. As his influence grew, so did the number of doors opening to difficult decisions. These were the moments when he had to balance his heart, mind, and conscience all at once. One day, a land dispute broke out between two powerful families in the village. Both families trusted William and wanted him to take their side. But William looked deep into his heart and said, "If I can't stand for justice, then my leadership means nothing." He made a fair and unbiased decision. Some people were upset with him at first, but time proved that William had stood by the truth. Sometimes William had to make decisions that brought him personal loss but benefited others. Once he sold his own land to build a school for the village's poor children. People said, "William, this is madness," but he simply smiled and said, "If my loss can bring happiness to others, then it's not a loss, it's an investment." Difficult decisions often come with heavy pressure. Some powerful people even threatened William, warning him that if he didn't follow their will, they would harm him. But William always stood firm and said, "I won't sell my honor or faith for a few moments of fear." William knew that not every decision would be right. There were times when he was proven wrong, but he never tried to hide his mistakes. He openly admitted, "Making a mistake isn't a crime, but refusing to admit it makes a person weak." This honesty only made people respect him more. Every decision, whether successful or not, taught William something valuable. He learned that living with honesty isn't always easy, but it brings true respect. Hard choices are what shape and strengthen a person's character. Only those who stand firm in tough times become true leaders. William often said, "Difficult decisions are mirrors. They show you who you truly are. The one who understands himself never gives up." William was not just a name. He had become a feeling that sparked respect, love, and trust in every heart. His simple life, honest actions, and soft heart had made him everyone's William. William's heart always beat for others. Whether it was a hungry child, an old man worried about his medicine, or a farmer drowning in debt, William always found time to help. People would often say, "Meeting William feels like seeing a ray of hope." William's greatest gift was his ability to build and keep real connections. He remembered everyone's struggles and joys. He was there to celebrate their happiness and the first to lend a shoulder in their pain. That's why every person in the village loved him as if he was one of their own. As William's work grew, so did people's love for him. But what amazed everyone was how humble he stayed. He often said, "The more respect you gain, the more you should bow." People can't reach the fruit high up, but they easily pick from the branches that bend low. Whenever the village faced a problem, people turned to William first. Whether it was a water shortage, a family dispute, or concerns about a child's future, William always stepped forward to help find a solution. This spirit of service made him truly loved by all. William's love wasn't limited to his village. His kindness, honesty, and willingness to sacrifice for others spread his name to the neighboring villages as well. People would come from far away and ask, "We've heard about William. Is he really that good?" And after meeting him, they would always say, William wasn't just good, he was rare. When people asked him how he earned so much love and respect, he would smile and say, share love and respect will follow you. One day, a little boy came to William and said, everyone teases me, I just want to run away. William gently patted his head and said, if you run away, who will win? Be strong, keep smiling, the world will accept you. Those simple words changed the boy's life. Today, that same boy is a successful man who proudly calls William his mentor. William left a message in every heart. Humility is the greatest strength. Love is the most beautiful weapon. Living for others is the truest success. A lesson for everyone. William's life story was not just about one village or one place. It was a message that touched every heart. His hard work, humility, love, and selflessness left a mark that everyone should embrace in their own life. William taught everyone that no matter how successful you become, staying grounded is what truly makes you great. Pride leaves you lonely, but humility wins hearts. He showed that happiness grows when it is shared. When you make someone's burden lighter, God creates ease for you too. William made people realize that small actions can create big changes. A smile, a prayer, or a simple word of encouragement can change someone's entire life. His honesty proved that the truth may seem hard in the moment, but in the end, truth always wins. Life brings storms to everyone, but William showed that patience and courage can make anything possible. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. The greatest lesson was that love and kindness are never wasted. Every good deed you do in this world will always find its way back to you. At the end of his journey, William told a young man, if you want to leave something behind in this world, let it be love and service. People will remember you not for your words, but for your actions. William's life teaches us to be humble, share love, stay strong in hard times, always make life easier for others. This story still lives in people's hearts because William didn't just change his own life, he taught others how to make their lives better too. And that was the story of William, a man who proved that kindness and humility can change not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you. If William's journey touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and follow Heart Scrolls for more stories that inspire and connect us all.